You believe everything can be reduced to physics and chemistry. He said, exactly. And that's why we've nothing to talk about. I said, we have. Why don't we do an experiment? He said, what? I said, you heard me. Why don't we do an experiment? But he says, this is dinner. I said, yes, but it's Oxford. And he said, what's the experiment? I picked up the menu. And he said, what's the problem with the menu? Roast chicken. I said, that's the problem. For you, not for me. He said, why? I said, R-O-A-S-T. Those are marks on paper. Yes, they are, but they say roast chicken. I said, how do you know? Well, he said, I've learned English. Oh, I said, that's very interesting. You learned English, and you give those marks a meaning, and you're a reductionist. Everything physics and chemistry. I said, okay, you explain to me how those marks convey the idea of roast chicken, and just use the material of the paper and ink. Dead silence. After a minute or so, he said, it cannot be done.
He was sharp enough to see that.
But it was devastating for a man of his eminence. He said, John, now he's getting friendly, I have been going to my laboratory for 40 years thinking that could be done. 40 years.
So he saw through it.
He saw through it like that, like a flash. And I tried to play devil's advocate, which I can be reasonably good at. And I said, but physics and chemistry, properly spoken, have only been going 500 or 600 years. He said, it doesn't matter. You must have a mind. Now, the interesting thing is this. Here's a man who works on DNA. So I say, look, R-O-A-S-T is 5 letters. You saw those 5 letters and you immediately postulated a mind. Now tell me about DNA, which is 3.5 billion letters, all in the right letters, of course, in the chemical alphabet, but they code. We talk about the genetic code and we're not embarrassed about it. So it's semiotic. It indicates, it's a sign, semion, a sign. It indicates something that is meaning. What about that? Oh, he said, that's chance and the laws of nature. I said, come on. R-O-A-S-T, mind. 3.5 billion letters in the right order, and the longest word we've ever discovered, no mind. There's something odd going on.